Family First. Family First is a nonprofit, a national nonprofit actually based in Tampa, Florida. So we are all from the same state. But AllProDad is the fatherhood program of Family First. And our goal is really just to provide parenting, marriage, and relational truth to help people love their families well. And so we are a national nonprofit, but based in Tampa. And in this workshop, we are going to be talking about family engagement in the digital age. We will hit on the importance of family engagement, the distractions we face in our culture today, and how to overcome those hurdles to ensure that the families at your school have the greatest chance to succeed. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started. And over the last year or so, our team has been interested in, well, probably a couple years, has been interested in how technology is affecting the family unit. We recently read through the Family and Technology Report, how technology is helping families and where they need help. And we found, that was from the Barna Group, and we found a few common threads that we wanted, that I wanted to share with you guys today. And so before we got too far into, so all that to say, you will see a lot of statistics and charts and graphs in this Prezi. And hang in there with me. I think some of the things that we find are very, very interesting and can be really useful for you as a counselor in the ways that you interact with your parents at the school. But before we get too far into that, I did want to just cover some of the reasons why having an engaged family is beneficial. And you guys, I'm sure, see this firsthand in the families at your school. But what we've really learned is that time, so the time that we spend together and the relational depth or quality of our relationships really enhances and helps us be more engaged. And so some of the benefits of an engaged family are more consistent school attendance. And so we will see later that attendance will lead to increased ability to learn and better grades. But we see that when a family's engaged, the attendance at school is just greater. They're taking their kids to school. Therefore, their kids are in school. They're able to perform better. They get better grades. They also have an increased motivation. So having a parent engaged in the life of a child, they are believed in. The child is empowered. They feel like they have someone in their corner, and they're more motivated. They have fewer behavioral problems. So we at Family First really believe that the primary disciplinarian lies within the home, not at the school. And so an engaged family is the mom or the dad are, just instructing their children, and therefore they have fewer behavioral problems at school. Again, they have an increased ability to learn. If they're in their seats, they have a better chance to learn anyways, and someone really believing in them and on their side. Obviously, they're more likely to stay in school. They have an enhanced creativity, and so this doesn't just have to be in arts. I know our little graphic here is arts, but this could be in writing. This could be in the way that they creatively solve problems. And then lastly is the improved time management skill. And so with parents involved, children learn to improve their time management skills, helping, whether that's the parents helping with homework, getting children involved in extracurricular activities, or just helping them prioritize and manage their time better. And so one thing that I did want to make clear is that we don't want to see the technology as the root problem. Technology is far from the family destroyer that many have claimed. It's not the culprit, and it's not the enemy, but technology simply facilitates the way that we are already relating to each other. It's just doing it in a little bit more of a convenient manner. And so a lot of times over the last year, I've wanted to blame a lot of culture's problems on technology in the digital age. but I was surprised to learn in this study that technology didn't cause the problem. The issue was these issues that we're seeing in our culture are way before smartphones. They're way before Facebook. Pornography was around before the internet. Spouses cheated on their partners before Facebook was invented. And really what we see is the emergence of the internet simply gives us a way, new ways to pursue healthy or unhealthy relationships. And so a couple things that I wanted to touch on really quick before we get into a little pop quiz is that from this study, they asked, I think that they asked 214 moms and 214 kids, or moms or dads, and their kids, all of these questions. And so you will see that there are parents and teens or tweens listed for all of the answers of these. But the first one was just really the best use of technology. They asked the question, have you ever heard of teaching or talk in any public forum, like a school, about how to use technology, like the internet, computers, and cell phones? About 75% both said no. So people have never been instructed on the best use of technology. No one is saying this is how to use it, this is when to use it, this is how to set limitations on it, this is how to use it for ways that will benefit you versus ways that will harm you. So no one is teaching them. Again, same thing, the best uses of media and entertainment. So this is like music, movies, television, still kind of parts of technology, but a little bit more on the entertainment side. 74% of parents and 63% of tweens or teens said no. Again, they've never learned the best use of this. And so that, I think, is foundational for what you will see in these stats is that that people don't have the foundation of the best uses, and they've never been taught, or it's not been, they haven't learned this anywhere, specifically at school or a public forum. And so that is kind of why we created this, is to teach you and for people to learn how to use technology in the digital age, specifically when it comes to getting your family engaged. And so again, technology is not all bad. People do use technology to connect with their family. They watch TV shows, they watch movies, they communicate over the phone. And so these are a typical amount of minutes that people spend a day doing it together. And so this can be something that they do as a family. It's not all bad. But we really see that the two main threads throughout this whole Barna Group study that we saw were quality time, undistracted time, time away from a screen, plus quality relationships that are engaging and deep. Really, those two things combined really helps families engage. And so what I wanted to talk to you about today was how technology affects both time and relationships. So before we get too far into this, I did want to do a little pop quiz. Obviously, you guys, when we present this live, we have a little bit more interaction, and so I apologize that we can't have the same interaction over the phone, but you guys can do this little quiz in your head. So technology, when it affects time, do you think you bring your work home too much or not? And what do you think your kids would say? So when asked this question, only 17% of teens or tweens said their parents did bring home too much work. So that's, I would say, pretty great. I'm not sure how accurate that is across all of the country, but for this specific group of people who were interviewed, this is what they said. Also, are there any times when you personally make the choice to turn off technology so that you can have a break from it? So this is not having technology in front of you and really being intentional about that. So the answer to this is on the screen. Only 30% of parents said that they don't take a break. So that's about 2/3 say that they do take a break from it. Only about 50% of teens say that they took a break from it. So obviously parents are a little bit more intentional to put limits on it, but this is a huge, this is having a huge effect on people's time, is if they don't intentionally put limits on it. Which of the following did you do in the last week, if any? Email, text, or talk on the phone while eating, use 2 screens at once, this is the iPad and the TV on, or iPad and computer on, check email or text message in bed, email or text while driving, or had an argument about the use of technology. So these are the categories you can see on the screen that are broken up, and it looks like 50, a little less than 50% of tweens, at least, are emailing, texting, or talking while eating. The dinner time used to be a place of communication between families, and now it's being interrupted by technology. Another big one that I wanted to highlight and draw your attention to is that close to 50% of teens or tweens are checking email or text message in bed. So again, another place where technology used to never really interrupt was sleep, but it is affecting our sleep and the time that we go to bed, specifically our teens. And then continuing the pop quiz, how technology is affecting our relationships. So when asked which of the following words or phrases describes your life right now: safe and secure, hopeful about the future, excited about life, trying to find a few friends, and so on and so forth. Just to bring this to a couple things that I wanted to highlight from this. Obviously, it's wonderful that kids and parents feel safe and secure about their family, but 2 specific things that I wanted to bring your attention to is that over 50% of teens and tweens are trying to find just a few good friends, as well as over 20% and 21% of parents and teens often feel lonely. So 1 in 5 moms and dads and over 1 in 5 teens feel lonely. And so this this kind of just shows the disconnect, because we can have hundreds of Facebook friends and they can have hundreds of Twitter followers and be very socially connected, yet trying to find just a few good friends and also feeling lonely. So what we see is that our culture is socially connected, but often relationally so disconnected and lonely. The next question is, how much time and energy do you spend thinking about and evaluating the state of your relationships with your child or your student? And this is encouraging. 50% of people said they think about it a great deal. 42% say that they think about it some. And so 92 in total think about this and evaluate their parenting, or, with you guys, you're being, being a, evaluate, the way that you're interacting with kids a lot. Yet going back to the very first couple stats, is that there has never been a instruction on how to best use these things. So I know that this shows us that that people, parents, and you guys care, and you care about your style of parenting or teaching or relating to with children. Yet there's been no been no foundation of overall of how to use these things. And so these are kind of just indicators that there is a disconnect. And so I wanted to show you guys a quick video, and let me just see here. Yep. So I'm going to show you a quick video next. It's funny. We thought that this could just be a good transition into kind of our next quick section of the presentation, and it just kind of I guess is a humorous way to show the disconnection in communication. So here we go.
And sometimes it feels like it's right up on me, and I can just
feel it, like literally feel it in my head, and it's relentless. And I don't know if it's going to stop. I mean, that's the thing that scares me the most, that I don't know if it's ever going to stop.
Have a nail in your head.
It's not about the nail.
Are you sure? Because, I mean, I'll bet if we got that out of there.
Stop trying to fix it.
No, I'm not trying to fix it. I'm just pointing out that maybe the nail is causing.
You always do this. You always try to fix things when what I really need is for you to just listen.
See, I don't think that is what you need. I think what you need is to get the nail.
See, you're not even listening now.
Okay, fine. I will listen. Fine.
It's just, sometimes it's like there's this achy, I don't know what it is. And I'm not sleeping very well at all. And all my sweaters are snagged. I mean, all of them. Ow!
Come on. If you would just
Don't.
try to do things my way. So I have to keep on talking till I can go on. We can work it out.
Okay, I hope that you guys could hear that. I know that it wasn't very loud. And before we move on, I will see if there's any questions. Do we have any questions yet?
Hi, no, we don't have any questions. If you would like to ask our presenter a question, please go ahead and type it on the chat box, and I will see it and I will call the attention of the presenter. But we don't have any questions right now.
Perfect. Okay, great. Well, we will just keep going. So we thought that sometimes that I hope that you could hear that it's not about the nail. If you could not hear it, you can just Google or YouTube it. It's a funny video, and we often think that technology can be seen as the nail, but it's not, and it's not the root issue. And so we wanted to give you guys some ways so that we think about how technology affects our time and how it affects our relationships. And we wanted to give you some tangible ways to fight for connectedness. So to fight for connectedness with your time and to fight for connectedness in your relationships. And so this next section of the presentation will go through some really tangible ways that you guys can do that. And so when asked if anyone takes breaks from technology, about 50% of people take a break at the end of the day, but really after school and after work, only about 20% of people take a break. And so at the end of the day, when you're winding down, that's typically the natural time to take a break. But really after work and after school would be a greater time to take a break and to connect with your family. And so what we propose at Family First and through the AllProDad program is to disconnect from technology and connect with your family. Disconnect to connect. So these are different resources that AllProDad and iMom is our motherhood program, provide. For example, in the 10 tips to better family time, you'll see that on the top right. These are to create a family time calendar, plan a fun family outing, just a few ways that you can disconnect with your family, disconnect with technology and connect with your family. And all of these resources are completely free, and they're on allprodad.com and imom.com. And so again, another one is the limits that people have put on technology. We can see here, and I wish that I had something to highlight this, but under the internet, it looks like only 33% of parents put any limit on technology or on the internet. And for texting, again, parents, only 26% of parents are limiting the use of technology. And so we need to set boundaries. We need to set boundaries. We need to take breaks from technology We need to not continue to be so distracted by technology, but to give people our undivided attention. And so we have resources that help parents and help their kids set boundaries on technology. Specifically, we have, well, you can see there we have the How to Escape, the TV Trap and Limit Screen Time. The next one is the Movie Monitor, which is a great tool to help set boundaries on what we're viewing. The next one is the Best Parenting and Internet Controls. And then the one I really want to highlight is the Social Media Contract for Kids. This is a great tool that you guys can use as counselors, as parents. Encourage your kids to have boundaries on their social media for their safety, for their conduct, for a lot of reasons. They need to have boundaries on technology. And so these are really tangible, practical ways. Again, you guys can find these on imom.com and allprodad.com. So how does it look like we fight for connectedness with our relationships? These are the lessons that parents are teaching their kids. So it's great that people are learning how to do, right from wrong. That's wonderful. How to treat other people. But if you can see the second to last one, how to use technology without getting addicted to it. 20% of parents are teaching that to their kids. Only 1/5 of parents are teaching their kids how to use technology without getting addicted to it, and how to teach them, these lessons. And so, one thing that we want to help parents and counselors with is to identify values, and the importance of identifying these values in a way that help their kids not, find their identity and find their worth in their Facebook and in their their social media, but really find it from their parents or from their school counselor. And so there's plenty of articles. This is just a few about identifying values for kids, how to raise kids with class, leading children in a changing world, how to have guts. And these are just topics that may not come up every day, but that the children need to have, and they need to identify these values from a person and not find it on their social media. And also the next one is what families talk about. So again, talking about normal everyday things, homework, that's great, the future, wonderful, and it looks like there is quite a bit of talk about technology. And we just want to make sure that you guys and parents have the practical resources to talk about technology with their kids and to have conversations about it in a way that doesn't let them get addicted to it, but also is intentional. And so one of the next ways that we want to encourage you to use technology is use these resources. Have intentional conversations with your kids and with your students. And so we have conversation starters. We have, how to talk about respect towards women at allprodad.com, questions about their school, or how to talk to your daughter about puberty. These are things that might not come up, again, like I said, but these are ways that you can go online, use our resources online to connect with your students or your kids and to deepen their relationship, because when their relationship with the person is stronger and is deeper, they're going to be getting their needs met by you versus their needs met by technology. And the last thing that I wanted to look at before we get into the program is the father's lag and emotional closeness. And I'm sure as counselors you guys see that the fatherhood and dads being engaged is something that's a really hot topic and has been for years on just dads being engaged in the life of their child. And we see that here close to 60% of students feel close to their moms, while only 35, a little over a third of them feel that they are close to their dad. And so we want to encourage emotional connectedness to people. 7 things a daughter needs to hear from her dad, 7 things a son needs to hear from his father, one-on-one time with dad, 10 reasons why kids without dads are at a big disadvantage. This is one of the key things that we have seen at AllProDad is just a lack of dads being involved. It's affecting nearly every aspect of a child's life, from their emotional well-being, their academic, their spiritual well-being, physical well-being. The role that the dad or male role model plays in the life of their child is key to the success of the student. And so these are resources in order to grow that emotional closeness specifically with dad, so that the girls are not looking to social media to find their fulfillment from another younger man, and so that the young boys are not looking around to find what it looks like to be a man from the computer and from Google searches, but they're looking to their dad. They're looking to a male role model to see what it looks like to be a dad. And so we know that fathers need to spend more time with their kids, and we have a program that I wanted to share with you guys about that goes through, that meets one of these specific needs, the emotional connectedness to dad, and how this affects them in a great way. And it's called AllProDad's Day, and I think some of you might be very familiar with it. We've come to the last few conferences, the last few FSCA conferences, and taught workshops. We've also participated in the ASCA conference as well. But AllProDad's Day is a really tangible way to get dads engaged at school, meeting a need, and really, getting the family engaged in a way that technology can't. It's a face-to-face interaction, and really we want to promote family engagement, even though we are living in a very digital age. And so an AllProDad's Day is a monthly school program where dads and kids meet to have breakfast and enjoy meaningful conversation that strengthens their relationship. And I wanted you guys to see this quick video that it just shows a little bit about the AllProDad's Day program.
In a world where fatherhood has been forgotten.
As dads being physically present with our children, we can still be distracted by so many other things, whether it's working at home or answering emails, watching sports on TV. It's so easy to be distracted, even though we're in their physical presence.
It's incomplete, and I'm afraid we're going to go over budget, and that's going to cause a big problem. One program will make a difference.
So what I like about the programming that we have is you just talk for a few minutes, and if I let them go for the rest of the time, they would probably continue to talk. They just need that push.
Schools will be impacted.
The principal is just a total supporter of this program. She knows that an involved dad means better performing kids.
Lives will be changed.
The relationships that you build through AllProDad are amazing.
The dad traffic through the hallways at that school was marginal at best. You count the amount of dads that are walking those hallways now, and you will lose count.
All we need is your energy, your enthusiasm, and your desire to help men become better dads. Sign up to become a team captain for an AllProDad Day.
So you probably saw Tony Dungy at the end of that clip. He is our national AllProDad spokesman. He did start AllProDad in 1997, and so he is completely behind this program and really believes in dads just getting involved. And I know that we're going to get into the program a little bit right now, and it could potentially feel a little bit disconnecting from the things that we talked about earlier in the presentation. But I do just want you to keep in mind that this is a way to promote family engagement, and specifically male engagement, amidst a very digitally centric culture. And the things that we're going to talk about in this program are meeting needs that technology cannot meet, where daughters are feeling valued and getting poured into, and same with sons, and they're taught how to be leaders and how to be men by their dads or by a male role model, and not by Google. And so this is a way that you can use technology and the resources that we provide and the PowerPoints that we provide for you, and leverage the use of technology, but use it to connect families. And so in the monthly curriculum, every single month, we provide our leaders a leader's guide, fun activities, inspiring videos, discussion cards, engaging PowerPoint. We also provide promotional tools, customizable group web pages, personalized phone and email support from our team. And this is what the PowerPoint looks like. So I'm just going to run through it.
Kaleigh, before you continue with the next slide, we do have a question. Pam Green Summers asks, what suggestions do you have for the students without an involved father?
Great question. What we would say, and I have tried to not just use the word dad, but I would try to encourage a male role model. If there is a teacher, if there's a guidance counselor, if there is a uncle, an older brother, a grandfather, any man in the life of their child that is a positive role model is critical. If specifically with our program, if there is not any male role model that could be present for the child, the mom is absolutely welcome to come. And so my husband and I actually started an AllProDad Day chapter at a Title I school here in Tampa, and we always had moms there. And so while we want it to be a dad-focused group, and where dads can own this and it can be their thing and they can get behind it and they can find a camaraderie around the program and so that it really thrives, it's okay if moms come, because we don't want to be exclusive and we want the kids to be there. So I would suggest a male role model, uncle, grandfather, coach, teacher, neighbor, someone from church, anyone who could be a male role model for the child, and if no one else, then the mom could be involved. Does that answer the question? Would you like me to keep going, or is there anything else?
That was our only question for now, so thank you.
Perfect. Great question. Keep them coming too. And I think that we will finish before 3. So also, if you guys have anything at the end, absolutely please keep the questions coming, because I think we'll have plenty of time to answer them all. So this is the slide that you see. It is just welcoming you to the AllProDad Day program. Every single AllProDad Day starts with what we call our pride exercise. This is a time where the dads or male role models stand up and publicly affirm the child. They say, I'm proud of you because, and they fill in the blank. This is a critical component to the AllProDad Day program, because there are very few times where dads or male role models publicly affirm their child in this way. A lot of times it's parenting is telling them no, 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 or controlling and not praising them. And so this is a time where the dads really just get to brag on their kids, and it happens every single week, because it's one of the key components that really strengthens the relationship between the dad and the child. We also have all of our curriculum. This is just one slide, but we also have all of our curriculum in Spanish. So it is completely, even the monthly flyers and things like that are translated into Spanish, so that it can work for the Spanish-speaking people in your group as well. So this month's topic is being unique, and we have 10 different topics that we give you, and they all come, again, with the components that you'll see on the left-hand side of the screen. But some of the topics that we're covering this school year are being unique and finishing well, putting others first, how to be a good friend, and others. So there's 10 topics that we give you. This just happens to be the one on being unique. One thing that's not included in this is the videos. In every single month there is a video, and in this we didn't put the video in there just to save time, but there will be a video that introduces the topic. Next is the discussion card. This is a discussion card that really, it's the time, again, another critical part of the meeting that gets the dads and kids communicating face to face about the topic. And so we have a couple different little scenarios of the dad saying something, the kid responding, and just kind of formatting it in a way that would be engaging in conversation and allowing them to get to know each other better in a non-threatening way, simply by just answering some questions. We also always have a huddle up, which is an encouragement to do something that reiterates the topic sometime that month. So this one is sometime during the month, plan to do something fun together based on your unique interests. So the dad and kid might have learned something new about each other at the meeting. They might have learned the unique interests of one another, and then they are encouraged to do those together, have fun doing them together in the next month. The next few slides are kind of what we internally call our connect slides. So we want the dads or moms at the group to be connected to us at Family First and AllProDad. We want them to receive encouragement from our free daily emails called the Play of the Day. It's the most read fatherhood email in the nation. Goes out to over 90,000 people every weekday. It's a short blurb of encouragement on parenting, work, kind of the meat and potatoes of fatherhood. And we also want them to stay connected to us on Facebook, where we provide a lot of encouragement to the dads that follow us on Facebook. Same thing for moms. We want them to stay connected to us on Facebook, where iMom shares motherhood encouragement, insight, inspiration, and we also have a free daily email for moms that goes out to over 40,000 moms every weekday, completely free.
Kaleigh,
again, going on with our connect.
We have a question in regards to the services. Is AllProDad and AllProMom, is it available in Broward County?
It is. It absolutely is. Yes, this program is in over 1,250 schools, and I know that we are in schools in Broward County. We are in over 1,250 schools in 46 states, and it's a program that can be part of your PTA, PTO, or it can just be brought to your school through you. And we can absolutely talk about that more, of how to get started if you're interested at the end.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions?
She's asking which schools. Do you know which schools in Broward?
I would be able to follow up with you after the presentation, if that's okay. If I could get her email address or phone number, I would be more than happy to give her a call or send her an email of the people who are running the program in her area.
Okay, sure. I'll get it from her, and then I will pass it on to you. Thank you.
Fabulous. So again, this next slide is the thanks for coming. We want the dads to be connected to Family First and AllProDad, for them to get encouragement on parenting, for them to get resources and tools on how to connect with their kids. But we also want them to stay connected to your Dad's Day group at your school and find, for them to connect to the other men in the group and continue to come back. So this is a time for them to say when the next meeting is. Again, this slide is completely blank, but this is a customizable slide. So for you as a school counselor, this is an opportunity for you to share with the dads what's going on in the life of the school and if they can be involved in any way. So whether that's joining the PTA, whether that's serving at some volunteer night, or attending a different meeting, this is a way for you to communicate to the dads that you have of what's going on in the school and keep them connected to the school. And then, of course, we end every AllProDad's Day with a prize time. This is just a fun way to raffle off things. And thank the dads for coming. School can often be a really threatening place for dads just based on maybe their experience growing up. Maybe they didn't enjoy school or they had a bad experience at school when they were younger. And so oftentimes we find that they don't come because they're going to be asked something, or they're going to feel silly, or they are going to not feel welcome. But we want this to be a really non-threatening place, and we want to celebrate their attendance because we know that their presence is, again, making a critical impression in the life of the child. And so that is very simple, and we ran through that very quickly, but that is the AllProDad's Day program. And I wanted to show you a quick video about why one of our team captains thinks, what he thinks about the AllProDad's Day program.
Someone should start an AllProDad's Day just to get an opportunity to be that facilitator, to kind of help dads and kids to engage and get that interaction that we all need. Statistics show that dads being present emotionally, physically with their kids changes the game for them. And I think that when you have the opportunity to be that dad to facilitate it, organize and get it together, you don't have to do everything. AllProDad puts it together, and it's so easy to do it. I think that is something that you can't say no to.
And so a couple things, I want to finish a little bit early so that if there are any questions, we can definitely have time for them. And so a couple things to expect if you do get a chapter started. You can expect to see involved dads. You can expect to see connected families, happier and better performing kids, and new and diverse school volunteers. Again, we have been running AllProDad's Days for the over 10 years and seen communities really changed from this program, and dads and kids relationships restored, and families restored. And so while the digital age wants to keep us isolated often and wants to maybe it can impair communication and it can impair relationships, AllProDad's Day wants to connect families with their time, just once a month, 45 minutes before school starts, and also connect them relationally and engaging them in deeper conversations that they might not otherwise have. And so I want to put this screen up there really quick. This is the AllProDad's Day website. We actually currently are running a back to school campaign right now, where if you start a chapter in the month of September, you will have the opportunity to be entered to win some really cool prizes. One being a meet and greet with Coach Tony Dungy and lunch with the AllProDad team here in Tampa. Another one is Mark Merrill, the president of Family First, who has been the president of Family First for the last 25 years, coming to your meeting and speaking and bringing a bunch of AllProDad t-shirts. And then the last incentive is $1,000 worth of AllProDad gear for you and your school. And so that's just a few incentives because we love the back to school time, and so just wanted to incentivize people to get the chapter started this month. Again, there's our phone number and our email as well. The cost is $35 a year. That's it. It is a one-time $35, and then after that there's a semester. Every semester we'll send an email to the team captain saying if they would want to donate $20 to the mission of AllProDad if they have been encouraged by using the program. That's an optional donation, so it's really $35 up front. If you are a Title I school, or if you do have a PTA, we are partners with and work alongside closely the Title I schools and PTAs. So your fee would be completely waived. The $35 fee would be completely waived and free, and it would be a free program for the first year. And you would still be asked to donate if you wanted to. And just, I'm assuming some of you are Title I schools or PTA schools. And so when you go on to the website, allprodad.com/dadsday, dads-day, like you'll see up there, you will see a button that says Start a Chapter. If you click on that, it'll take you through a 3-step process of getting started. On the second step is typically when you're asked to pay, but it says if you have a promotional code, enter it here. If you're a Title I school, you can enter the word title and it will waive that fee. And if you're at a PTA school, you can enter PTA and it again will waive the fee for the first year. So those are just a couple of things that, just pointers and how to get started for free. And that is all that I have. I know that we finished about 10 to 15 minutes early, but I do just want to open it up for questions. If you guys have questions about the study at the beginning that we talked about, if you have questions about how to connect relationally or how to connect with our time, using the AllProDad and iMom resources, or if you have any questions about the AllProDad Day program itself, I want to see how we can help.
We don't seem to have any questions right now, but we'll leave the floor open for a couple of minutes.
Okay. Perfect. I'm going to leave this on my screen so that people can see that.
Oh, we have a hand raised. Let's see. So if you do have a question, please type it. Okay. I was caught up in a meeting and logged in late to the webinar. Will the webinar be available later? Yes, this webinar is being recorded and it will be available through Florida School Counseling Association, Alice. Do we have any other questions? If
you guys do have questions, or if you think of questions later, you always can call the number on the screen or email us at allprodadsday@familyfirst.net. Like she said, the webinar will be provided to you guys so you can see that. But if you have other specific questions for me, you can email or call me at the number or email on the screen.
We have another question. How does iMom compare to AllProDad, and how can it be started up at a school?
Great question. So iMom is it's currently just, there is no program at a school for the moms. For the last 5 years, we ran an iMom morning program. And we, in just this year, had to make the tough decision to no longer run it because of the lack of involvement that we were receiving and seeing online through the different research that we were conducting. We could see that there were not people downloading the curriculum that we were providing. So being a small nonprofit and wanting to be good stewards of the funds that we've been given, we had to say that we were just going to focus all of our attention on the AllProDad Day program. But that being said, iMom is a motherhood program, so while it doesn't have a school program attached to it, we do have hundreds of resources and tools and articles on our website, imom.com. We also have different social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and there is still a free daily email called the Espresso Minute that goes out to 40,000 moms and every weekday, where they will get encouragement, insight, inspiration on what it's to be a mom. Sometimes they're really lighthearted, sometimes recipes, and oftentimes they're just encouragement on the way that they're raising their kids. And so we still seek to encourage moms in the work that they're doing, but we don't have a school-based program for that anymore.
Okay, thank you. We have another question. Is this program effective in high schools?
Great question. Historically, about 80% of the people who have run the program have been in elementary school. but in the last year or so, we've heard from our volunteer leaders at a training conference that they really would love to see some improvements to the curriculum in order for it to be used more effectively in middle school and high schools. And so we have made those changes this year. I know that you guys probably hadn't ever seen the curriculum in years past, but this year it is a lot more age appropriate. It's not as elementary and kiddie as it used to look. We also have developed the discussion questions in a way that would really promote a little bit more of a mature conversation. And so more middle school and high school groups are starting them. I will say it doesn't always operate as a monthly school breakfast program, and that is okay with us. Oftentimes the high schoolers are running it every other month or quarterly. Oftentimes they are tying it to an event, so they are running the curriculum and then they're serving together, or they're basing it around the football team, or it's, you know, one month it's a dads and sons thing, the next month it's a dads and daughters thing. And so it can be a little bit different and can take us on a different form, and that's okay. So our heart is that dads would be connecting relationally with their kids, and that AllProDad Day would facilitate those conversations through the curriculum that we provide. And so that can take on a different look, and it does in high schools. And so my answer would be yes, it can work in the high school level. It just probably looks a little bit different than it does in the elementary school level.
Thank you. We do have a couple comments from Amy. She says, I used to run the iMoms program at an elementary school. So sad that it's not part of schools anymore. And I'd love to use it in my middle school.
Absolutely. And Amy, I will say one thing that I didn't mention about the iMom Morning program is that if you were a leader, I'm not sure if you were the iMom Morning leader or not, but we did provide 2 years of archived curriculum for iMom so that people could continue to run the program. Our team is just no longer going to be, our number and our emails are still the same, but we're not going to be creating new content for iMom Morning. So if you guys are interested in bringing a mom program to your school, we can get that curriculum for you. It was all posted on imom.com. If you search iMom Morning update, I think that you should be able to find it. But if you have any questions, you can always email the email that's on the screen right now, and I can get you 2 years of archived iMom Morning curriculum.
Yeah, Amy says that she was a leader, so she'd probably be able to email you and then get all that information. Great.
Perfect. That's great.
And that seems to be it for questions. If anybody else has any other questions that they'd like to ask our presenter, we still have a few minutes left. It seems to be. Okay. Thank you all so much for coming to the webinar. After you log out, there will be a very short poll. 3-question, just kind of after webinar survey. So please go ahead and take it. It would help us a lot. And remember that this webinar will be available. The recording of it will be available from Florida School Counseling Association. And if you have no more questions, thank you, Kaleigh, for the presentation, and thank you for showing us all these wonderful things.
Absolutely. I'm happy to. Thanks so much for letting me have the opportunity.
Okay. Thank you so much.